cracking the iGaming LatAm market, dealing with the diversity of the LatAm landscape.
Thank you, Jess. I'm Oliver Debono, the CEO at Kondor Gaming, and we are here to discuss the Latin American market with SiGMA Digital Focus Americas. I'm here in the studio with Fernando, Juan, and Juan, three veterans in the industry who are going to give us a bit of insight into this ever-growing market. Guys, I want to kick off by saying one thing. I find it very much let's say, the going cause when it comes to the Latin American or the LatAm market, the term localization. We're here to talk about LatAm. However, people often reference the entire market, and we do know from experience and now emerging within the market is that every country within this market is extremely different to the next, both in the type of product that you approach the market with and the customer behavior and profiling. So what I want to kick off a little bit is just to get an idea of what we're looking at, what differentiates this market, and how do player profiles change from country to country. We have the leading, let's say, interest from the European operators who are looking to penetrate this market, like Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, and Peru. But what defines these markets? Let's dive a little bit into it. Fernando, I'd love to start with you. Business development, you know what's happening out there, you know what's happening within the LatAm market. What defines LatAm? How is it different to Europe when it comes to, let's say, the products within the sector there?
Well, hi, Oliver. Thank you. Beside all your previous presentation, of course, Latin America, always we say, is a whole world. So each country is a different situation. And for years, it was pretty much the same. Now we are in a better situation because we are looking for the regulated in different markets. But before and now is totally opposite. So some years ago, the situation was really, more focused in retail, more focused in the industry of the casinos, the retail, the regular casinos, and now is a little bit different. Now the product is totally online focused, I think, and there is more and more retail providers, the one they are looking for to go to that online. Okay, of course, in Latin America we have two big countries, as we have. Well, we got Brazil and we got Mexico. Of course, they are huge in the area, but also we got all Central America. Panama is looking for improve their own regulation or the law they got before. We got Colombia with the new structure, so it's amazing how many companies they are looking for. And the most interesting thing I bet is how many companies from Europe, gaming developers, processing, they are looking for us right now. They are looking for us, I mean Latin America.
Yes.
Before, 5 years ago, we were totally, hide and Latin America, maybe Brazil, some Mexico, but what about now? Now they are looking for, even the sponsorship is looking for the Latin American providers, and the region is in a good stage, I have to say. We are waiting for more regulations, of course. There is Puerto Rico already on the market. There is Argentina, Lotba. I know, and I was witness, Peru was working very hard, but they have to stop to continue the regulation. But yeah, it's pretty much the idea. Colombia is doing the homework very good. They are increasing the options for the customers, and this is the thing. This is the north, or the northeast, as we say.
Excellent. Well, that's it. There's so much potential right now. And as you said, in the initial days, it was, let's look at Brazil, or one of the larger states. And nowadays, every market is of interest. Juan, Carlos, I'd love to switch over to you and just discuss, working with Pragmatic Play. We're going to talk about products as well. There are very defined differentials in this market, in LatAm. We know that, for example, the Brazilian market has a massive interest in video bingo. You have sportsbook dominant in many of the smaller states. What would you say are, let's say, the key products you need to enter the Latin market, Juan Carlos?
Just I want to add something what Fernando was saying. I would say the LatAm has become Pandora's boxes. It's something that I think all the world around has realized that. Then that is why I think the interest, the present interest in the Latin market, I think they discover what is the great potential we are having. Actually, I think with few years more, we will become one of the highest markets for the online market. About the question about Pragmatic Play, about the product is, I think we are focusing what is the lots of casino products. For example, live casino, which is a total boom in everywhere around in LatAm. All the operators, they are looking for it. I think it's because the access of the land-based casinos, of the presential places where to go and bet. I think that is why the people who used to go to casinos and play over there, they found in these products like a live casinos, slots, they found a very good option for them. No, they don't need to go anymore to the casinos, to the land base. I think they will keep around, but online will finally, I think, finish with the land base.
Well, yeah, we've seen that growth, and I spent some time over there a couple of years ago looking at the potential in the market. And as you said, it's now opening up to the online sector, and casino is one of the to look at products in the region. You still have quite a sportsbook dominance in much of the market, but casino is growing. But if you were to define, let's say, the markets in regards to the larger states, Colombia, Peru, Brazil, and Argentina, you're seeing products grow there, but there seems to be quite let's say a difference or a different interest within the player preference in those countries. Juan Ignacio, I'd love to move over to you and just get a little bit of insight of where you see the key markets are and what products you need to enter these markets, because we know that there is a huge potential in the LatAm market. It's not only a question, as Fernando said, there's so much interest from the European markets, but it's not just Europe. You have good products and good companies with vast experience opening up in LatAm who have, let's say, a bit more insight into the player profiles. So coming from a European operator, we're still learning, you know, what do you enter Peru with? What do you enter Brazil with, and Argentina, and so on. So Juan Ignacio, what would you say are the key products you need when tackling the larger markets?
Okay, thank you very much, Oliver. It's great to be here in SiGMA Americas. Yes, I agree with Fernando and Juan Carlos. I mean, we have been considered as a unique country for a long time for European operators that came to Latin America with just one solution, hoping to reach the market in just the same way. I mean, we are 20 different countries in Latin America with 650 million inhabitants. So we have different cultures in each country and different, I mean, you have to consider many things to come into the market. I mean, not only for the player's profile, but also with the games, the payment methods, I mean, the affiliates, the marketing strategy. I mean, there are many things that you have to consider in Latin America to succeed. I mean, customer support is not the same to give support with the Argentina, Uruguayan, and Chilean clients with Peru or Colombia or República Dominicana. It's not the same. And yes, we talk and we speak Spanish, but there are different Spanish between each country. So it's not the same. And perhaps, I mean, it's able for you, you can have a hub for specific regions. I mean, South America, I mean, in different regions, that's okay and can be done. But it's not that, okay, I can just say, this is my Spanish promotion and these are my games and it have to work because I'm in Latin America and I'm making an investment there in terms of marketing. So you have to consider many things and not only the player profile. You have, I mean, in Argentina, Juan Carlos was saying, I mean, live casino is really great. Yes, they love live casino. And also now with the COVID, more so. But in Brazil, they like video bingo. And in South America, we love soccer. Also in North America, I mean, in the countries in the north, but they also like other sports because they are get used to see those sports in the TV from USA. So we don't like hockey, we don't like, any other sports like the Colombian profile player or the Ecuador profile. We are different from them. So we love sport, we love soccer, and you have to consider all these kind of things in your monthly promotion, for example, as well as the customer support. What kind of bonus are you giving to these people? It's not the same bonus in Europe that bonus in Latin America. We are get used to play with bonus. It doesn't matter if you use a 40% rollover, but we need bonus for acquisition. And that is something that in Europe, it doesn't matter. You have 20% bonus and that's all. And that is really a big difference between Europe and Latin America.
I see. Well, that's very interesting because, again, we're going back to the term localization. And this is one of, let's say, the key words that is floated around within the Latin American market. But in saying that, what localizes, let's say, the larger states? You mentioned a very interesting point, customer support. You need different support. I think the European operators look at it in the way that, not all the operators, but let's say you need Spanish support. But as you said earlier, there would be a difference between a Colombian customer and a Peruvian customer and an Argentinian customer. So is it more the language? Is it the player preference? Is it how you treat it? Is it particular colloquial terms? What defines these players when you're looking at it from the outside? Because as you said, if you're not a national, it's harder to recognize. And it is a giant market. We're talking about a huge player population, now very tech savvy, very mobile going. So there is a massive potential, but we're here to crack that shell. We want to figure out what it would take, or at least the starting point. So talking about the players, back to you, Juan and Ignacio, I want to just understand, you mentioned this before on support. What would define, let's say, certain behaviors in Colombian players versus Argentinian players, game preference, anything at all that creates a definition? What would you say are the key definitions?
For me, why this is different in terms of, all of them speak Spanish and it should be the same for everybody. They understand the promotion. If you read it in the site, it's okay, but you need to understand the client, and it's what makes the difference. You need to, they are not we are talking about an mature market. So you need to take the player in your hand, you need to learn, and then you have to educate the players on how it's about betting online, because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to register. They don't know how to activate their account. So they need to be educated in so many things in Latin America that if you don't understand their culture of what they are trying to explain you in support, you are not giving the solution that they need. Because another important point is that they need to trust on you. So there are many international operators that just came to Latin America with no local presence. And that's a big mistake, because in Latin America, the players need a local office. They need to, if I have a problem, who is going to give me a solution? No, it's an office in Malta. We are not going to trust on that in them because I don't know where's my money. I don't know who will give me a support. So that is important. When we talk about, yes, it's Spanish, Betcris has a many local office here in Latin America, and they know that because the people can trust on them because they have a local office. They can say, where is my money? I win. This is the game. This is the error on my mobile phone. But this is something that makes a difference. And we are not talking about having a customer support on each country, because that is really expensive for most of the operators. And not only that, it's the risk that in some years or months, you are not getting a license in that country, and you have to move all your customer support from one country to another one. So, but you can think about regional and having 2 or 3 different customer supports for all Latin America. I think that makes the difference. And the customer support employees will understand what the players are trying to ask you, because they don't know what to do, and you need to give a response, and they need to trust on you. It's not the same if you, it happened to us in Uruguay when we call a customer support service from another company, not betting company, and we are, answer the call, and it's a customer support in Panama. And we have to repeat 3 or 5 times what we are trying to do, and they say, wait a minute, and they send the call to another customer support agent, and we have to do that 5 times. So what happened in that case? You just cut and you keep the site. In gambling, you need to be really, really locally to get the trust from the players.
I see. That's actually very interesting. Fernando, you mentioned as well before that a number of European operators had once upon a time said, okay, let's enter the LatAm market. We know that there were a lot of, let's say, attempts in the past. Now the market is coming to fruition. We've seen both, let's say, local businesses and European businesses thriving there. Juan, you mentioned the key word here, trust. Fernando, you had mentioned it before as well. There was an attempt. So when we're looking at the player type, there seems to be quite, not to use the word distrust, but they want to know their entertainment provider. So Fernando, what makes that? Is it a local office? Is it, let's say, local endorsements? What could support a B2C entering this market, or also a B2B? Is it, let's say, known presence, more traditional marketing, seeing the brands more familiar? Fernando, what would you say are the key aspects to gaining player trust in the Latin American market?
Yeah, thank you, Oliver. Well, one of the biggest is what the Juan Ignacio mentioned before. The local support, the local team, for us, based on the experience, was great. Actually, we some years ago we decided to think in this word local. So going global, thinking global, but act local. So we need to focus in the culture of the situation and the country we are working on. So at the beginning, in the case of Betcris, we started giving support from Costa Rica. Mm-hmm. So it's a very neutral Spanish and everything, but we noticed in the meantime, in Mexico they use different words. They like to be trade different. Or the case right now in Brazil, we have already a customer support direct from Sao Paulo, and they not just speak Portuguese, they speak Brasileiro. Brasileiro, they say. So you have to go in that direction. Think local, act global, but you have to set up something local. Now, about the players, we got different players right now. As well, we have different products. We have different customers, different profile of players. For example, we got the traditional sports betting customer. We got the ones who like the traditional casino, the RNG games, and the regular, real games and that kind of games. But now we got some more on the table. We got some, not too many, but horses. There is a renewed product of horses with the new technology. For years doesn't happen. Now it's happening. More companies, they are developing software and live streaming and some other ones. That is important too. And now also we got virtuals, we got simulations, and of course, one of the biggest, and for the next 5 years, I think will be or the companies, we have to put an eye on that, is the esports. Esports is growing, is following for the new generations. We can say millennials, but now we have to say pandemials. So after the pandemic situation, we will have a different comportation or the situation with the customer. So we have to focus in the different customers. We have to offer them solutions, the fastest way to pay the customers, and to get the access to give the support. And well, is a combo right now. So we have to provide as many options we can do it for them, because right now in a short term, maybe a customer start just playing the traditional sports betting. But now with the pandemic, well, almost all the leagues stopped. So they have to move or something so they start to see some esports, some other virtuals and everything. So and that market grow very fast. But so from the companies, we have to offer in as many products we can do it. Excellent customer service. The Latinos we like to be treated well, so we like a great customer service. All the Latinos, we are VIPs. Actually, we think we are VIPs, everyone. So we like to be and trade very well. Yeah, it's true. We like that one. In the same way, we are very, very people. Is that is excellent product. Define your kind of customers and trade different. About the bonuses, also every single product you have to handle in marketing ways in a different way. So you have to control. And another important thing in the region is in some countries here in America, they use a decimal line, and some other ones they use American lines or odds. So that is important. For example, in South America, Argentina, and Uruguay and Chile even they use decimal odds, and some other countries more in the north, in Central America and North America, they like the American odds. So small things is the difference. Every company who came to work in Latin America has to pay attention on that. And of course, as I always say, you have to learn Spanish.
Excellent, excellent. That's really interesting. We're slowly running out of time. Juan Carlos, I just want to shift over to you for a quick question before we close up. We mentioned before the COVID situation made a very big difference to sporting events. But Juan Carlos, as a Pragmatic Play, one of the leaders in the industry in casino products, you know, there was, let's say, a gap in the market during this time. We've seen Pragmatic expanding into the market. How did you find that transition? You know, we know that Latin American customers do, let's say, in history have shown more interest in sportsbook, but it's slowly moving towards casino products. How did you find that jump? What were the key elements in looking at the sportsbook player and moving them over to a casino product during the pandemic and when many sports events weren't happening? What would you say are the key elements in moving these players over, Juan Carlos?
I can say first of all, I can say this COVID-19, the only thing it has made is accelerate a process was happening. So this is the only thing, because the process, all the online, I think, was about to happen. The online business was about to happen. The only thing is the COVID-19 or this pandemic has accelerated the process. That is all. But basically, if we are talking about the sport, they were not that popular, let's say. They were not really getting this success. For example, what is live casino, slots, or this kind of game coming directly from casinos, land bases, is what is taking, let's say, the attention of the players. And I think this is due to this absence of the land-based operation, casino, where to go and play, no? But as I say, this online gaming is something is would happen 100% sure in maybe a few years, no? But I insist the COVID-19, the only thing it has made is accelerate the process. But still, casino games, they have a big preference around the population, LatAm population. And I think it's because we have very good experience in casinos, a very good story in casino. We have more than 20, in Peru, for example, we have casinos more than 30, 35 years. So the people get used to these games. For us, for example, for LatAm, it's something new. It's something is happening just now. But you have to see, or you will see in a few more years, because I still thinking the online is not really in fact in LatAm. We still have to grow more. We still have more potential. And this is just the beginning.
Well, this is it, exactly. And we're seeing now huge growth in this market. So we've obviously coined here today that we know localization is really important. And what I want to do is just take the last minute of this panel just to get closing words from each of you. But how do you localize? This is very interesting. We've touched on support, we've touched on products, but starting with you, Fernando, what would you say just in, you know, a one-liner, how would you localize towards your customers entering this very quickly growing market?
Yeah, well, Oliver, I have to say, you know, every single company depends of his team or his people. If you want to do something, hire local people. We have very good people in Latin America with a lot of experience, and that will be one of the best experience you will have to trade your own customers, having a local people, a local manager, a local marketing development, everything. So this is one of the suggestions I can put it on the table. There is good people, working people, and for sure you will have a good situation with that.
Fantastic. Juan Ignacio, your finishing words, how would you say, you can add localization apart from, let's say, hiring locals? And I know you touched on support before, but looking at the market, the trust, you mentioned trust before, which I find really interesting, having a local presence, not just the support. How would, let's say, you guide a company to do so? Would it be, opening an office, local marketing? What are your words on creating that trust in localization?
Okay, I mean, that depends on the money you have. I mean, it's not possible for you to come to Latin America and say, I want to operate in all the countries in Latin America, because if you don't have enough budget for that. So I think that from my opinion, you have to focus on 2 or 3 countries and say, okay, is it possible for me to make this kind of investment without a hub, a customer support with similar culture? Just focusing on 2 or 3 countries. From my opinion, that's the best way. Just, okay, let's focus in Argentina, Chile, Peru, that are something similar in terms of customer support, with a local office, and hire the right people, local people that know the players, that know the culture, and always think as a customer. That's, for me, is the difference. If I'm a new customer, I don't know what to do, how I would like to be treated by the customer support. That's what makes the difference.
Fantastic, Juan. Guys, that's all we have time for, but I want to thank you all for your time today. It's been very interesting. I know we're just scratching the surface, and there's far more to this market. I hope to discuss this further in the near future. And for now, I want to thank you all for your time. Jess, back over to you.